Hey guys, I want to thank you guys for joining me. So tonight's video, I'm going to talk to you about 5 things you need to know about pancreatic cancer. For those guys who are joining me for the first time, my name is Samir Islam. I am a board certified gastroenterologist and hepatologist practicing here in Texas, and I want to thank you for joining me on my Facebook Live today. Every Tuesday evening I do a Facebook Live, and I'll do a replay of the same video, and I'll post it both on my Instagram page and my YouTube page as well. If you enjoy these videos, I would encourage you to share these. I would love you to share these videos to your friends, your colleagues, or anybody else who you think may be interested in learning about more gastrointestinal topics or what you can do to help out with your health. But in this video today, I'll talk to you about 5 things to watch out for pancreatic cancer, some of the symptoms from pancreatic cancer, and how we diagnose patients with pancreatic cancer as well. So the reason we're talking about this is because currently, or at least recently in the news, Aretha Franklin passed away from pancreatic cancer. She died at the age of 76 and was under the hospice care for the past couple of years because of pancreatic cancer. And so today I thought I'd speak about what pancreatic cancer is and what are the 5 things you should watch out for if you're worried about pancreatic cancer, or if you may be worried that there could be some issues with respect to that. So let's talk about the pancreas. The pancreas is an organ that sits right here in the middle of the chest. And what it does, it helps to break down fats and digest nutrients as well. And so if you don't have your pancreas, or you have a problem with the pancreas, you may have the inability to digest fats, and you may have difficulty maintaining some of that weight because you're losing some of that fat that's there. And that can manifest in a lot of different ways. Now, when it comes to pancreatic cancer, unfortunately, when you have a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, by the time patients are diagnosed, it typically is at a later stage of the disease, meaning it's already metastasized, it's already spread. There's not a lot that we can do about that. Pancreatic cancer, unfortunately, is the lowest cancer survivor out of pretty much all the cancers that are out there. And it's a very difficult cancer to treat because it's such a late presenting problem that people may have. And in 2 years, it's going to become the second leading cause of cancer death in the United States because it's such really a hard cancer to treat and to fix. And it actually, more and more people will die from pancreatic cancer than breast cancer. And the reason this is because of the subtle symptoms, which I'll describe in the next couple of minutes, of how this cancer presents. When people have pancreatic cancer, they don't have some direct warning sign that can show them that they may have that, but they typically present with subtle symptoms. And some of those symptoms can be things like weight loss, upset stomach, and yellowing of the eyes and the skin. They also may have clay-colored stools and loss of appetite as well, but the most classic symptoms that we have is yellowing of the skin, yellowing of the eyes, and a change in the color of your stool from brown to a clay-colored stool. Now, not everybody who has yellow skin, yellow eyes, or clay-colored stools has pancreatic cancer, but these are some of the warning signs that we have. But having said that, a lot of people don't have these symptoms. They may have just subtle weight loss, kind of poor appetite, maybe some nausea. And they may attribute that to something else, whether it's a gastroenteritis, maybe just not feeling well, or the flu, or things like that. And this is the reason why it's so difficult to diagnose pancreatic cancer, because by the time you have these symptoms, the cancer's already spread, or it's already too big for us to do a lot about it. Now, there are some risk factors that put you at high risk of developing pancreatic cancer, and by far the #1 risk factor for developing pancreatic cancer is smoking. There is never anything good about smoking, no matter what. It leads to a lot of different health problems, lungs, colon, and especially the pancreas. This is one of the biggest risk factors for developing pancreatic cancer is smoking. Another risk factor is also diet. We have found that a diet that's high in red meat and processed foods, there are some studies that show this leads to an increased risk of developing pancreatic cancer as well. Obesity, especially central obesity around the abdomen, this puts you at a high risk of developing pancreatic cancer in addition to smoking and diet. And also family history. If you have a family history of pancreatic cancer, there are some genetic syndromes that are passed from one generation to another that puts you at a high risk of developing pancreatic cancer. And then lastly, diabetes. Diabetes is a risk factor for a lot of other medical problems, and one of them actually is pancreatic cancer. And so cancer in the pancreas is a risk factor from long-standing diabetes. So when you have somebody who we suspect may have pancreatic cancer, we typically do imaging, either a CAT scan or an MRI. And if that does show something there, we may do further specified imaging, including endoscopy or what's called an endoscopic ultrasound, which is a dedicated ultrasound to actually see A, if you have cancer or not, B, if there's any regional lymph nodes that the cancer has already spread, and also potentially get samples of that cancer that's there to confirm the diagnosis that could be there. And so I'm going to talk to you now about 5 things that I want you to do to help prevent your risk for developing pancreatic cancer. And obviously, the first thing is going to be stopping to smoke. Smoking, like I mentioned before, is such a high risk factor for pancreatic cancer that if you can do this one thing, this would help out not only your health, but it would substantially, really substantially decrease your risk for developing pancreatic cancer. The second thing I'd recommend is also to know the signs of pancreatic cancer as well. Know the things such as weight loss, feeling fatigued, maybe yellowing of the skin, clay-colored stools. Know that these may be the signs of developing pancreatic cancer, and if you can do that in addition to smoking, that should only help to minimize your risk. Change your diet. If you can change your diet, decrease the amount of red meat, decrease the amount of processed foods, this will help out not only for your overall health and making you do better, but also would decrease your risk for developing pancreatic cancer, maybe other cancers including colon cancer as well. The fourth thing I'd recommend is controlling your diabetes. We know that diabetes is a risk factor for pancreatic cancer. We also know that uncontrolled diabetes is a risk factor for pancreatic cancer as well. So if you have diabetes, find a way to control it, whether it's diet, medications, or the combination of the above. Speak to your healthcare provider about what you can do to help out with that. And losing weight not only will help out with your risk of developing pancreatic cancer, it also will decrease your risk for developing diabetes or the risk from diabetes. So it's a win-win if you're able to lose some weight. And this is going to be an important avenue to hopefully help out patients in terms of minimizing their risk for developing other health problems as well. So these are the 5 things that I would recommend to help decrease the risk for pancreatic cancer. Know the sign of the cancer. If you have clay-colored stools or yellowing of the skin, make sure you speak to your healthcare provider about what could be going on. Number 2, stopping smoking. This is such a significant risk factor that doing this alone will substantially decrease your risk. Number 3, change your diet. If you have a diet that's very high in processed meat or red meat, try to see if you can minimize that, increase the amount of vegetables that you may be consuming. Number 4, control your diabetes. If you have diabetes, get it under control. Or if you're at risk for developing diabetes, make sure you can make steps to hopefully minimize that. And the best way you can do that is to lose weight, which is number 5. If you're able to lose weight, that's going to help out not only with your overall health, your medical problems, but also decrease your risk for developing pancreatic cancer. So my question for you today is that I want you guys to tell me what you can do today to decrease your risk for pancreatic cancer. Let me know what things you're going to implement today from this video to help minimize your risk. Are you going to lose weight, stop smoking? Are you going to try and change your diet? I want to hear from you to find out exactly what you guys are going to do to hopefully decrease your risk from developing this devastating disease. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. So I'm changing the time for my Facebook Live as of next week. And here on out, it's going to be 7:30 p.m. instead of 8 o'clock. So I would encourage you to join me every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. I do a Facebook Live on various topics. If there is a topic that you want me to speak about, I want you to comment down below. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys want me to talk about. I've gotten some feedback from you guys, and I really do appreciate that. I'll include your feedback in upcoming Facebook videos, YouTube videos, and Instagram videos as well. If you enjoy my videos, I would encourage you to follow me on social media. If you go to my Facebook page, I would encourage you to like my page and share my videos. If you follow me on Instagram, I would encourage you to put it on there as well. I'll replay this video on Instagram TV every week. And if you like my videos, they're archived in YouTube, and so I would encourage you to go to my YouTube page, watch my videos, subscribe to that, so that way you can get knowledge about when I'll be posting my videos as well. And if there's any questions you may have, I'd encourage you to comment down below. And obviously, if you want to make an appointment to see me, just feel free to contact my office. But thank you guys for joining me today. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks and take care.